Here we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go with the information. A line intersects two parallel lines forming four acute angles and four obtuse angles. The measure of one of the acute angles is 7x negative 6, 7 and 10 degrees. The sum of the measures of one of the acute angles and three of the obtuse angles is negative 14x positive w degrees. What is the value of w? Okay, now first let me draw two parallel lines. Okay, let me do it. So here we have two parallel lines, and it is intersected by a third line. Usually we call this third line is transversal. Let me write it. So this is transversal, and these two lines are parallel. Okay, since the two parallel lines intersected by a transversal, so usually 8 angles are formed at the point of intersection, in which 4 angles are acute angles and 4 angles are obtuse angles. Okay, first let me mark the acute angles over here. This one, and this one, and this one. These 4 are acute angles, and all the 4 acute angles must be equal in measure. And we know that the measure of one of the acute angles is 7x negative 610 degrees. Let me mark that over here. 7x negative 610 degrees. And the measure of each of the remaining 3 acute angles also the same, 7x negative 610 degrees. And now let me mark the obtuse angles over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 angles I have marked in red color at the point of intersection are obtuse angles, and all these 4 obtuse angles are equal in measure. Whenever two parallel lines intersected by a third line, which is called transversal, so the 4 obtuse angles are formed at the point of intersection must be equal. For example, if I assume y degree as the measure of this obtuse angle, then the measure of this obtuse angle also must be y degree, because all the 4 obtuse angles at the point of intersection must be same, y degree and y degree. Okay, we know that this is a straight angle here because it's an angle on the straight line. We know that the angle on the straight line always measures 180 degree. So this y degree, this 7x negative 6 and 10 degree together form a straight angle. So these two angle measures add up to 180 degree. So it can be written as y positive 7x negative 6 and 10 equals to 180. Okay, now we have to solve for y, which represents the obtuse angle. So to solve for y, I have to get out these two stuff. So for that, first add 6 and 10 to both sides. Let me do it. Then I subtract 7x from both sides. Let me do it. So when I do so, this positive 7x, negative 7x will cancel out. Negative 6 and 10, positive 6 and 10 will cancel. Then I'm getting y on the left side. On the right side, when I add these two values, 180 and 6 and 10, I'm getting 790 negative 7x. I've solved for y. So the measure of the obtuse angle y is 790 negative 7x degrees. Okay, now let's go to the information we have in the question. That is, the sum of the measures of one of the acute angles and 3 of the obtuse angles is negative 14x positive w degrees. So we have to take one of the acute angles and 3 of the obtuse angles. One of the acute angles means it measures 7x negative 6 and 10. Let me write this. And 3 of the obtuse angles. We know the measure of one obtuse angle is y degrees, and 3 of the obtuse angles means it's 3y. So I just added. So this is sum of one of the acute angles and 3 of the obtuse angles. According to the question, this sum is equal to negative 14x positive w. Let me write it over here. Okay, 7x negative 610 positive. So we got the value of y in terms of x, that is y equals to 790 negative 7x. We can plug in this 790 negative 7x for this y over here. Okay, let me do it. So 3 times for y, I can plug in 790 negative 7x equals to negative 14x positive w. 7x negative 610. Now we can distribute this positive 3 to this one and this one. When you distribute this positive 3 to this 790, I am getting positive 2370. So when you distribute this positive 3 to negative 7x, I am getting negative 21x equals to negative 14x positive w. Okay, now what I need to do is I have to combine this 7x and negative 21x because both of them are like terms. So because both of them contain x. When I combine positive 7x, negative 21x, I am getting negative 14x. Now I can combine these two numbers, negative 610 and positive 2370. When I combine them, I am getting positive 1760 equals to negative 14x positive w. Okay, here on both sides of the equation, I will find negative 14x. If I add 14x to both sides, I'll be able to get love for the x term on both sides of the equation. Let me add it. So I'm adding 14x to both sides, and negative 14x, positive 14x will cancel out. I'm getting 1760 on the left side. On the right side, I'm getting w. So therefore, the value of w is 1760.